Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm so glad you guys were able to be here tonight. Don't forget, we've got small groups just after this to see either your parents' email or access your group through the same link as in previous weeks. We're going to be looking briefly at Ephesians 4 in just a little bit. I know I see in the way that I speak, and maybe you guys see this as well, but just in general, I think we live in a world where we use the words like love and hate pretty loosely. Like, you might love something like Lucky Charms, but you hate Justin Bieber. You may love Marvel movies, but you hate cats or something. Or like, maybe to connect it even more, you love Netflix, especially right now, but you hate quarantine. Like, you hate, oh my gosh, it's the worst. Maybe that's a little bit too real right now, but love is a big deal to us. A lot of the big movies that we see in theaters, or I guess with cinema streaming, whatever you call it, like have a love story attached. A lot of the chart-topping songs are about love. And did you guys know this, that Americans spend $20.7 billion, that's with a B, dollars on Valentine's Day each year? That's a lot of money for love. And in church, we talk a lot about love as well. We talk about the idea that God loves us. We should love other people, right? And so love is a big deal. And on the other hand, we also see that we live in a culture where we love to hate on other people or on other ideas. We make fun of celebrities. We make fun of TikTok stars or YouTube personalities. And we even hate on people that we have in our own lives. People that we know, that we interact with, as long as you're sure that they're not around, as long as you're sure that they're not in the group text, you know it's okay to hate on them, right? And we may not say them aloud, but most of us have opinions on everything and on everyone. So if love is such a big deal, why does hate, and specifically hating on people, seem to be such a natural part of our lives? There's a lot we could all say about the different ways that people hate on people, but because we have a limited amount of time, we're only going to focus on one of those things, and that's gossip. This isn't just a junior high or a high school thing. This is a thing that adults are just as bad at, maybe worse at, than teenagers. And you might be thinking, I don't really talk about other people. I know people who talk about other people. I talk about them all the time. But the truth is, we all do, at least to some extent. We all do talk about other people. We can all fall into the gossip trap. And when it comes to gossip, we all need to take a look at ourselves. I'm not asking you to look at who the other people in your lives are who talk about other people. I'm saying look in the mirror for yourself. I'll look in the mirror for myself and see how we contribute to this form of hating. How do you contribute? How do I contribute to gossip? So why do all of us have such strong attractions to the trash talking, to the gossiping, the spilling of the tea? I think there are some big reasons, some primary reasons why we like to gossip so much. And one of those is our insecurities. If we point out what's wrong with someone else, it helps us to cover up the things that we're insecure about in ourselves. Another thing is it's easy bonding, right? Is there really a better way to get in with a group of people than spilling the beans, or I guess the term is spilling the tea about some other person or some other group of people in order to win favor with someone? Or let's be real, it's just fun. Sometimes it's just fun to trash talk other people, or at least just talk about other people. It's entertaining to be the first person to know, to break the news, and to share the gossip. Or there's that competitive advantage, right? You want to be the best, and so if talking down about someone or bad about someone makes you look better, that's good. It makes you look good. Or there's truth. Sometimes we justify talking about people because we're I'm spitting facts, dude. I'm just telling it like it is. It's okay because it's true. And sometimes we just have innocent intentions. Like sometimes we're just so good of friends with people that we just talk about everything. And when we mean talk about everything, sometimes that everything includes everything about someone else's bad decision. And like I already mentioned, gossip is not just a junior high or a high school thing. It's not just a teenage thing. It's a people thing. It's a person thing. We all know adults, we all know teachers, and we all know coaches who share a little bit too much. But isn't it true that although gossip is just this naturally accepted thing in our culture, there's something inside all of us that knows it's not good? Everyone knows gossip is a bad thing when it's about them. There's no questioning that. But in a culture like ours, a culture that loves to hate on people and ideas, how is it possible to stop gossiping? How is it possible to stop hating on people in this way? Well, interestingly, someone who lived a couple thousand years ago might have written some of the best advice on this topic. His name's Paul, and most of you know, like he was like top tier Christian, one of the best Christians to ever live. And one of the letters that he wrote, Ephesians, written to the church of Ephesus, basically this city, Ephesus, was a bustling port city, full of culture, diversity, religions, and it's a town full of a bunch of people with a bunch of differences, okay? That's drama. We're setting it up for some drama. Like, this is a type of setting that fuels gossip. It's like there's plenty to talk about, there's plenty of things to disagree about, and there's plenty of things to judge. You know what I'm saying? And so Paul is writing to the Christians in Ephesus. He's writing to the Ephesian. Wow, I can't say that. He's writing to the Christian Ephesians, or the Ephesian Christians. Which is it? He's writing to them, and he's telling them to operate differently than culture. And so in this letter, he says, as followers of Jesus, they're to live unique lives. And so we're going to look at just one verse here in 4:29. Ephesians 4:29 says, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths. Talking trash or gossiping, like originally this was written in Greek. And so if you look at the translation, I love this. Like, one of the ways that you can translate this word for unwholesome, one of the other ways that it can be translated is rotten. I love that. Like, talking trash or gossiping rots friendships. It rots relationships. It rots reputations. This isn't what we want to produce in our lives, is it? Like, I don't, that's not what I want to produce in my life. And I don't think any of you guys want to produce that in your own lives either. We don't want to be people who put off a rotten vibe. Or maybe you do, I don't know. Like, I don't want to step on your toes, but we probably don't want to be people who put out a rotten vibe. Like, in fact, like, not only does gossip rot the things around you, it rots things within you. It might actually, more accurately, it might actually be an indication of something unwholesome or rotten inside of you. Jesus himself talked about this, and he said in Mark 7, it's not what goes into your body that defiles you, but you are defiled by what comes from your heart. It's more than the words you speak. It's more than the things that you say. It's about the motivation, the heart behind what causes you to say those things. What causes you to participate in certain conversations. And going back to Paul, I'm just going to read that again. Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths. And he goes on to say, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. In other words, if you choose to put the needs of others ahead of your own, and when you think about the person who the person is instead of just judging them, you're going to stop yourself from gossiping. You'll think about them before you speak about them. Let me say that again. You'll think about them before you speak about them. If you choose to build others up, if you choose to care about others' needs and to help them, you'll choose words that benefit them instead of words that bash them. And I get that that's so much easier said than done. Oh my gosh, it's so much easier said than done. I get it because it's tough for me. Like I said, not a teenage issue. This is an everybody issue. In a world where hating on people is like literally a pastime and actually can be a career path, like no kidding, it's hard to be the guy or the girl who chooses the wholesome over the unwholesome, because the unwholesome is just so much more fun. But choosing the wholesome talk can be one of the best decisions that you can make. Because what you say about others says a lot about you. Think about it. Like, you know people who trash talk. You know who those people are. You know, when I'm talking about the trash talky people, someone comes to mind for most of you. Like the friend who trash talks their friends, who spreads rumors or always has a mean joke like ready to go. And when you think about that person, you think about that part of them. And it seems like hating on people is what they're about. Like, that's their thing. And you probably know people who are the opposite. Who refuse to hate on people. Who walk out of the room when gossip starts. And chances are when you think about them, when you think about that person, it's a pretty positive thought. It's easy to respect people like that. And again, I'm not talking about that person in order to draw your attention to that person. I'm talking about that person so you can look at yourself. So when it comes to your conversations, what are you about? What do people see in you? And so it isn't really a question of what to say or what not to say. The real question is, what do you want to be about? Do you want to be that first person I was talking about, or do you want to be that second person? Do you want to be the trash talky person, or do you want to be the person who doesn't want to have any part of that? Do you want to be known as someone who loves others, or do you want to be known as a hater? Someone who trashes people, or someone who builds them up? And the good news is that you have a choice. You get to choose which person to be. You get to decide what you want to be and what you get to be known for. For those of you who follow Jesus, that's why God gives you the power to be different. He wants his people to be known for love, not for hate. Just because gossip is super fun, just because it's normal, like everybody does it, it's hilarious. It doesn't mean it's worth it to participate in it. Instead, you and I can choose to be about something else, something better. We can seek the kind of reputation that Paul talked about, one where we're known as people who use words to help others, to build others up, and to make their needs a priority. Simply put, we can choose love over hate. Let love be what you are about. And this starts, again, way before the words come out of your mouth, way before the tea is spilled, or way before you refrain from spilling the tea. Keep that tea to yourself. It's a choice that we need to make to care about other people, no matter what they do. And that choice then transfers to your words. It impacts your words. After all, everybody has ways of deciding what to say, okay? Whether you can deny it, but whether we admit it or not, we sometimes decide with some of these key questions. we all have these specific ways to choose what to say, and I think some of those ways are answering questions like, well, is saying this gonna make me like look funny? I'm all about that. Is it gonna make me look cool? Is that girl gonna hear? Is that guy? Is it gonna make me look smart? Is saying that okay because it's mostly true? I know maybe not 100%, but it's mostly true. Those are questions that we ask ourselves when we're deciding what to say, but those filters can lead to rotten, lead to unwholesome words and talk. And so rather than asking those questions, rather than filtering our words through that, we need a new question. And I really like the word that Paul gives us, because it's like it's the perfect word in order to be all about love. It's the question that we need to ask. Is it helpful? Is saying this helpful? It's a simple question. All we need to ask is, are these words going to be helpful to someone else? Are they going to build someone else up? Will it make someone's life, or at least someone's day, better? Like, imagine for a moment, just imagine with me for a second, if the people in, I was going to say in this room, but I'm alone in this room. So imagine if the people watching this, imagine if you and everyone else watching this, imagine if our youth group and if our church decided to let love be what we were all about. And if that choice impacted our words in the way that I'm saying, in the way that Paul tells us, what would happen around us if just this group, let's say just our youth group for a second, if just this group refused to judge, refused to hate, refused to talk about other people in poor ways, refused to gossip? Imagine if we chose to be people who used words to help build others up. Whether it's over text, on Instagram, on TikTok, Zoom, FaceTime, whatever it is, like in person, eventually, way down the road. There is so much encouragement going around in the situation that we are in right now that's so good and so encouraging. It's so uplifting. But there's also so much smack talk, so much gossip, so much negativity. What are you going to be a part of? Are you going to be a part of building others up or tearing others down? All of us get to decide whether we'll be known for being loving or being someone who loves to hate. Let's let love be what we are all about.